Hi, my name is Matt Kendall. I'm just doing a real quick conversation record with an interesting Talks member called Nick, and he's been to many events over the last few years. And more importantly for this, he came to the conversation workshop, which I run nearly once a month now. What the whole point of this conversation is to get those people, because the people who need this content and course the most are those people who never come. And people say they have social anxiety and sort of things like that, which people think that conversation is just a natural thing, and I think it can definitely be taught, and social skills can be taught. So I want to just give somebody who's been to the last event what they thought of it and what they've done since. So you can hear me loud and clear, Nick?
I can. Hey, Matt.
Cool. How are you doing? So you came to this workshop last month, I think it was. It's a 4-hour workshop. People just want to know, basically, why did you attend, I suppose? What were you looking to gain from it, and what you really thought about the whole experience?
I started coming to interesting talks last year, and it was really, I found myself in a place in my life where I just needed to restart my social life. I kind of slipped into all work and no play, living in a garage, kind of IT consultant type thing. And I realised that I just needed to get out and do more. And to be honest, I'm a bit past sitting in pubs and talking about football. And I wanted to learn something. I wanted to meet some like-minded people. And I wanted an activity that would be interesting, take up a Saturday and not involve getting slaughtered. And it's an area that I've always not been particularly good at, to be honest. And I think admitting that you're not particularly good at it and could do with developing on that front is something that I've always struggled with. But it was something that I think is really important. We can get really isolated. We can spend a lot of time on our own, and sometimes we want to connect and just don't know how to do it. So, didn't really know what to expect. Thought I'd come along and see.
Cool. Now, I often call London the busiest and most lonely city at the same time. So there's loads of people around you, but if you just look at the tube, right? Hundreds of people, but silent. And everywhere now these days, especially the younger generations, just glued to their phone and not actually interacting. And I really think that conversation and social skills are a dying art form. And social skills to me are so important for everything from meeting new friends, meeting romantic partners, even jobs and work, getting promoted, actually sort of being able to get on with people without having to get drunk to do it. So we did for those who don't know, basically it's a 4-hour workshop. It's 1 till 5 p.m. It's broken up into different modules, and they all kind of layer on top of each other. And we go from literally how you're going to say hello right through to sort of really deep connection, understanding people. So what did you think of the material, the way it was presented, and what did you get out of it the most?
I think, to answer those in reverse order, the thing I got out of it the most was getting the opportunity to put the things you're teaching into action in the room.
Yeah.
Some of it, you can read a book and go, oh, that sounds really interesting. I'm not going to do that because they might not like me. And to actually walk around the room trying it over and over and over again with lots and lots of different people, you get that kind of real-time feedback that this does actually work and that people do respond well to it. Some of the stuff you were talking about were just asking people those deeper questions and how they feel about things. My initial thought was like, my God, people aren't going to want to be asked questions like that. And then you do it with people and realise, there was some of the most amazing conversations going on all around me in the room.
Yeah.
It was just funny to try it and see it working in that kind of safe space. And I think that was the best thing about it. It's the practical element of it to me, because then you could read a book otherwise.
Well, yeah, and I always say social skills is not something that you can learn from books, and it's not something you can therapy your way out of. You've got to go and do the actual thing. So the way that I teach it, basically, I will teach a module or I'll teach a concept or whatever it might be. You also get worksheets as we're kind of going through this. I will then demonstrate it a lot of times with people. A lot of people think I've got stooges in the audience, right? Which I wish I had the budget for that, which I don't. And the thing is, you don't need them if you're doing really good stuff and connect with people. You don't need stooges and stuff like that. But that's why I do it with so many people, to show. I thought you had stooges till I was one of the volunteers. And then you get to try it. So you get to try it in real time, and I'm always walking around monitoring, asking questions if people sort of getting it. But this is when I do this course, it's great because when everyone comes in, everyone's really quiet. Now, the only problem with this course is it really wears out my voice because once you show people how to talk, you can't shut them up. And, you know, because they're connecting on a much deeper level than what they're used to, yeah, the people have some absolutely fascinating conversations and they'll stay afterwards in the pub for hours and hours. So obviously you enjoyed the talk, you enjoyed the practical elements of it. This was a few weeks ago now. How have you used the skills that you've learned in, well, basically in your life since? What's it been like?
Once I got over that initial fear of actually asking questions like that, which happened in the room, it's just been something that I do more and more. Whenever I meet new people, I'll ask them what they enjoy doing and then ask them why, which I always thought sounded a little bit rude before, but to be honest, people react really well to it. So literally, whenever I meet a new person now and I'm trying to find out a bit about them, I will follow the patterns on the worksheets. And it does work. It really does.
And so what's the quality of the conversations you're having like before when you used to meet people and now you know these patterns? They're not long-winded NLP patterns. It's just simple frameworks, you know, rather than memorizing scripts. It's just a few little things. What's the quality of the conversations like now?
Much better. Instead of being superficial, I like football and that kind of thing, you kind of get to know people. You get to know why people like things and connect on a more emotional level. And so you feel after walking away that you've got to know them much better and on a much deeper level.
Cool.
And make yourself memorable as well afterwards.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. And the thing is, it's like people don't really remember you for what you say, is they remember you for how you made them feel. And everything which I do, it's a lot of the questions come from the therapy and kind of coaching world, and it delves down into it's a lot of subconscious communication about how you ask questions to elicit certain. People have all this stuff in them. It's just knowing how to tap into it, basically.
My daughter's just turned up.
Oh, no, it's like that news report on BBC. No, it's all cool. I had one last question. Oh, okay, this is one last question, because a lot of people talk about social anxiety. Knowing these skills now, what's your confidence like in social situations?
Much better. Once I got past that fear of actually putting them into use, and again, the practical part of the workshop helped with that. And I went out and I tried it out in real life. And now, yeah, it's had an amazing impact, to be honest.
Cool.
I would say I'm much more confident socially than I was. And I enjoy it. I look forward to it. I used to find going out to social things, to be honest, I didn't really look forward to it very much.
Yeah.
It was something I didn't think I was very good at, didn't know why, and it was something I knew I had to do, but kind of didn't relish. Now I look forward to it.
Cool. Well, that's a rather big change, and I'm glad that you got so much value. And yeah, I think it's really important that people do attend. This is why I only make it 30 quid. I could charge much more, but only have 10 people in the room, which I don't want. I prefer to have 30, 40 people in the room, because that way you get to do a lot of interaction. You get to do, you get to try the skills out with lots and lots of different people. And it makes it a much more social event as well. I think it'd actually be harder if there's only a few people in the room, to be honest, than if there's compared to having 30, 40 people. Cool. We're going to wrap it up here. Anything to say to people who are watching this or about thinking about, basically, I really want the people who do struggle socially, who are having problems connecting with people, regardless of their background, where they're from. A lot of people are like, I'm Spanish, will this work? Or I'm Italian, you know what I mean? I get all the time, but I'm like, no, you're in London. It's fine. There's no English people here anyway. I'll probably be the only English person in the room sometimes. So what do you have to say to people who are listening to this, who are kind of, sort of on the edge of whether they should come or not?
Do it. That's, the two-word answer is just do it. I remember the first time I came to Interesting Talks on my own, hanging around outside, thinking that I'm going to walk in and the music's going to stop and everyone's going to stare at me because I'm the guy walking in on his own. And it didn't take very long to realise that everybody comes on their own.
Everyone comes on their own, yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of those places where just everybody does. And it's fine. You meet a group of like-minded people who are all trying to do the same thing and all supporting each other. And yeah, it's a good way to spend. It's a good way to spend your time. I enjoy it. I'll be coming back.
Cool. And good value for money.
And good value for money.
Cool. Thank you very much for your time. I'll let you get back to your daughter. I'm sure you will have fun looking and try some conversational skills out with her. I don't know. Can she talk yet? How old is she?
She is nearly 2, and she has a repertoire of 5 words at the moment.
Oh, hello.
There she is.
Fabulous. All right. Thank you very much for your time. Okay.
Yeah. Cheers,
See you
mate.
later. Take care. See you later. Bye.